Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Episode 14, Lips Unsealed. Well, alrighty, let's just get right into it. We start off this episode in Lisa Rinna's driveway. Her two daughters and Delilah's boyfriend Eyal are coming over and they're in a red sports car, and we find out that Amelia says her friends bought it for her. And I guess friends is code for Scott Disick. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, it didn't take me long to crack that code. I don't care that much about it. I don't know what kind of car it is. It's probably a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something expensive, but again, I don't care that much about this. So Lisa leads everyone to the garage where she keeps all her vintage designer gowns. As she tells the girls, somehow I ended up with Nona's wedding dress. And both of the girls are like, I want it, I want it. And then there's this big giant stain on the front of it. So Amelia said, what kind of stain is that? And Lisa goes, I don't know, just from like being old. And then Eyal whispers to Delilah, maybe it's a baby-making stain. Ew. So the rest of the scene is just the two girls trying on various vintage designer dresses of Lisa's, and of course they both look hideous in them. Kidding, they're models trying on $25,000 gowns. It's pretty much a winning combination there. All right, now they're talking about Lisa's lip kit launch. This was weird. Amelia excused herself to go to the bathroom because she has a horrible stomach ache. And Lisa's like, okay, go. So I don't know why that made it into the final scene. I'm trying not to read into things, but of course, I'm hoping that she isn't having a little bit of a relapse with her anorexia. Anyway, Delilah tells Lisa that Eyal sent the lip kit to his stepmom and she loved it. And Lisa's like, oh, good. So she tells them that she's having a little luncheon and it's going to be at Crystal's. And that Crystal offered to have it at her house. Lisa thinks it's because the last time she was at Lisa's house didn't go so well for Crystal. Of course, we get a flashback. Jealous of what? Your ugly leather pants? That will go down in the Hall of Fame, I'm sure. So, Lisa just thinks that Crystal has a little PTSD from that, and so she wanted to have it at her house where she could control things a little better. Then we're at Crystal's house, and she and her sassy housekeeper are preparing a little, some salads and lunch because Dorit is coming over. She's like chopping garlic, and she goes, Dorit said she doesn't like garlic, but, I'm going to force her to like it. Okay, so her yard is all set up for Lisa's launch party. And, it's gorgeous. There's like a little cabana that's got the Rinna Beauty sign up. And Crystal tells us that she hosts about 2 or 3 parties a week. What? Who has that many friends? 2 or 3 lavish parties a week? I mean, does she get paid? Is that like Crystal's job? And I don't know that. Anyway, Dory gets there and, how are your holidays? Fine. Crystal said, I ate so much. And then, in Kyle's dinner, she was so happy to make us Christmas dinner. That was really sweet. It was so nice, but it was a little intense. We get a flashback to Sutton and Erica. And Dorit said, it was a holiday party. And Erica walks in like a mere shell of herself. I didn't think it was the night to pounce on her. Which is what I said. It was a Christmas dinner. You're only going to look like a bully if you do it then. But, I don't write for this show. Crystal's like, yeah, I don't disagree. But actually, I don't think it's any night is good for pouncing on someone. Even when they deserve it. Okay, then Dorit mentions Garcelle making little jabs at her, which, she kind of did. But Dorit was going after Garcelle by not acknowledging that she wasn't there when Erica said she didn't want to talk about Tom calling her. And honestly, now I'm kind of thinking that Dorit was acting like that because she didn't like that the night before, Garcelle was peppering Erica with question after question. But I'm wondering if Garcelle was grilling Erica with all those questions because Erica lied to her at her house. Remember when Garcelle said that some lady in a shop told her that she saw Tom with a 60-year-old blonde? It wasn't me, I swear. Swear to God. So, guys, how far back did this tit for tat go? Because now I feel like this is a chicken or the egg situation. Garcelle did that, so Dorit did that, and then Garcelle went after Dorit for doing what she did, and it's kind of like they have been jabbing at each other for a while now. Oh, we just saw a montage, and it actually goes back quite a bit further. All the way back to the French party at Sutton's house when Garcelle brought up that Dorit was long-winded. Anyway, so now Dorit said that it's starting to piss her off and, she wants to ask her what the deal is. Crystal thinks that's a good idea. So, yeah. I mean, listen, better a lip launch than Christmas, but who am I kidding? We wouldn't have a show if all the ladies just called each other privately and worked out their differences on their own, right? Dorit seems to think that Garcelle is trying to say something, but she doesn't have the guts to do it. I don't think Garcelle has any trouble speaking her mind. Okay, next, guys, lock your car doors because we are heading into a shitty neighborhood. Side note, guys, if the cameras are just going to be following Erica around the house while she does chores wearing a sweatsuit, then for the first time ever, I feel like I could be a Real Housewife. Side note too, did we know that Erica had a tramp stamp? Or did she just get that recently to fit the whole image of single, struggling to make it on her own in a shitty little house? So now Erica tells us that she really likes her vacuum cleaner. A couple of weeks ago, we learned that she loves sweeping. I see a future in housekeeping for someone. And I know someone that needs a housekeeper. Kyle, you just could have had Erica clean up all those dishes. Anyway, so in her confessional, she says that she really likes vacuum cleaning. And let's face it, if I was having some good sex, this whole thing wouldn't be that depressing. I don't know. In some ways, I think it might actually be more depressing. All right, so Rinna shows up in a dress and champagne in one hand and a package in the other. Erica's like, you look cute. Lisa, well, it is Kyle's birthday. Oh, God. I actually think Lisa might have thought that Erica forgot because she's still in her sweatsuit. Oh, this is so ridiculous. Rinna says about the gift she's carrying, this is from both of us. And Erica goes, I got a cake and I have some champagne. I know I have my running joke about Erica's life, but oh my God, they are really treating her like a charity case. Side note, what happened to Tivana? Why is he incarcerated? Anyway, they sit down and Erica says, I was vacuuming the sofa because, I was trying to make it a little less shitty because you guys were coming over. Rinna, how's it going? Like, oh boy. I hate to ask because her life is so shitty. Erica, it's bizarre. One of my lawyers asked, how are you? And I said, you know what? I'm really just focused on getting through all this stuff. Then I'll just worry about my emotional stuff later. Rinna, well, you look great. So there's that. Okay, so the birthday girl Kyle arrives now. Is this Kyle's first time in Erica's house? I think so. They're singing and dancing. Happy birthday to you. Erica has to warn Kyle to be careful by the corner of her shitty little rug because it's coming up. Kyle and Rinna are so weird around Erica. It drives me crazy, and I cannot imagine that Erica does not sense how condescending they are being. Kyle's like, oh, I'm so impressed with the way you open a champagne bottle. Okay. Gee, maybe she should get a job at Morton's. Apparently Tom eats there every night. Rinna, ooh, these champagne glasses are pretty. Erica, thank you. A parting gift to myself. Rinna, oh, a parting gift. Kyle, were those snuck out in the middle of the night too? Okay. Erica, yes, and they'll probably try to take those away from me too. I don't give a shit. Nice. So they give Kyle her gift, and it's a little brown faux fur jacket that's kind of ugly, I think. And I can't imagine that Kyle will ever wear it. It doesn't really even seem like her style, but whatever. Everybody screams when she opens it, and, Rinna, of course, clapping and balancing a ball on her nose. Kyle says, have you guys talked to anybody? I haven't seen anybody in so long. And Lisa said, Yeah, I saw Dorit and Sutton 2 days after your dinner. And I have to tell you, the girls were a little nervous. Erica, why didn't they get all their legal questions answered? Rinna, well, they didn't really ask the questions they wanted answers to. And I said, I was really trying to help you the other night. Oh, yeah. Who were you trying to help? Kyle goes, so was I. Like, I didn't want to be a bitch to Sutton, but I was like, just like say what you said the other night. And Erica goes, well, then can you guys tell me what no one will say to my face? Kyle, well, basically, Sutton doesn't want any trouble legally or any problems in society. Erica, oh, how small town of her. I don't want to be associated with you because of what the neighbors might think. To me, that's cowardice. I can't be around you because of my good name. Come on, what are we in, small town Georgia? We're not in Augusta, bitch. You're afraid. How do you think I feel? Fear of all that's being said and how things are going to play out. Yeah, I'd be afraid too if I were Erica. Kyle, and this is exactly how Kyle does things. Did you want to leave for a long time? And I only ask because... That's exactly how she did it before. I only ask because you already blah, blah, blah. I only ask because I'm super nosy. No, she said, I only ask because of the cheating and everything. Like, were you wanting to leave for a long time? Erica, well, the cheating is something that I truly discovered the night I left Yolanda's condo. Rinna's eyes are like bugging out and she's like slowly nodding like she knows this already. Erica, she said something like, boys will always protect boys. So that night when I got home, he was asleep and his phone was right there. So I picked it up and I said, Sarah, what have you heard? Who's this town hussy that Tom's been talking to? Now, I'm not saying Tom's old, but I am suggesting he uses an operator to connect his calls. Anyways, she's like, I picked up his phone and it was all there. Lisa, whoa. Yeah, you're not clapping now, are you? Kyle, guys, is Kyle smiling? Kind of, right? Even when she says I would have strangled him in his sleep, she appears to be at least suppressing a smile. Erica goes, what good would that have done if I didn't have all the facts? You do know that Kyle's just kidding, right? Erica sounded like she was actually contemplating murder. So she goes, what good would that have done without all the facts? What do you mean, what good would that have done without all the facts? You had them right there. You said it was all there in black and white on his jitterbug. So that's your evidence. You could have taken a screenshot of the conversation. Come on, girl, get with it. In her confessional, she said, I thought about leaving, but how? Where? How? You pack up and go like you did. And where? Some neighborhood, obviously. Erica, I'm solely dependent on my husband at this point. What am I gonna do? Come to your house, Kyle, and ask you for money? I mean, you could. She's got $100 million. Kyle, but you didn't have a prenup. Erica, no. That's how she said it. No. But he would have found a way out of it. Question, was this before he became so senile that he didn't know he was stealing money from his clients? So now she's like, and how about this? I still don't have a prenup and I haven't seen a dime. Gee, how about this? A guy is sitting on the couch in his living room with his girlfriend, and his house explodes. She's dead. He's living a life of surgeries and scar tissue, and he still hasn't gotten his money. So, you know, get in line. You should be at the back of the line. And if it's all gone, that's the worst of it, that it may have all been spent on Erica's career. I mean, they definitely should make him sell that house that he's kept through how many wives now? Yeah, well, your luck ran out, pal. I don't know if he's senile. I don't know what the deal is, but I know it's not the victim's fault. Okay, so now we have a getting ready montage, and I believe this is for Lisa's Rinna beauty lip party. Dorit is getting ready with the help of an intern. Kyle calls Sutton on the phone to see what she's wearing. Side note, Kyle has Sutton in her phone as Sutton Strack with 2 Ks. I have never seen it spelled that way. Anyway, Sutton says, I'm channeling Katharine Hepburn today. Kyle's like, oh, well, I'm channeling a beat-up old jalopy. And they both laugh. We see Crystal's backyard now that has been fully transformed. It's beautiful. The place settings each have a nameplate that is on clear glass lips, shaped like lips, or it's lucite or something. And there's beautiful flowers on the table. All the ladies are arriving. Everyone looks gorgeous. The way they're dressed, beautiful. When Sutton gets there, Erica is like avoiding her a little bit, because Sutton said she didn't want to be around her because of her reputation. So in Sutton's confessional, she said, I may have overreacted a bit. Still don't like it. Still have questions. But I can go to a lipstick party, for God's sake. Wait, who is this lady who's making a toast and thanking everyone for coming? Oh, is she the woman behind the lip kit? Probably. She's probably the one that is actually doing all the work, and then Rinna gets to slap her name on it. Oh, God. So after the toast, she's like, all right, well, I'm going to go now. And she leaves, and then they all go over to sit down at the table and eat. There's just chit-chatty conversations going on right now. Kyle asks Garcelle how the reel is going. And Garcelle said, it's good. The commute is from my glam room to my guest room, so that's nice. Dorit now looks at Crystal and says, thank you, Garcelle. Everything is so, so beautiful. And everyone laughs because obviously she meant to say Crystal. Rinna's like, oh, Dorit, this is Crystal. Crystal, Dorit. Garcelle, that's Dorit, and she's pretending to reintroduce them. And Garcelle's like, we all do it. It's fine. Dorit. We do, Garcelle, but I've been thinking about you a lot lately. And there's been some things that have been bothering me, quite honestly. Garcelle's mouth says, okay, let's talk about it. But this face says, bring it. What now, bitch? Dorit. I feel like the last few months you've been making quite a bit of little jabs at me. Garcelle. Have I? Dorit. Yeah. I don't know why you're doing it, but it doesn't sit well with me, and I want to know what's going on. Garcelle asks for examples because perhaps she's forgotten. Dorit mentions the she talks a lot comment, but she said that she let that slide because, it wasn't nice, but maybe you were just trying to be funny. But then at the dumpling party, the situation between Crystal and Sutton, well, maybe it was more the tone. A really obnoxious, rude tone. Jeez. Well, that got 2 sets of raised eyebrows. And so Dorit goes, you said, as if you would ever stick up for Sutton. Garcelle, I remember that. Dorit. Then it was, Kyle had a beautiful function, and... Time out. Kyle had a beautiful function. She means the Christmas dinner. That was a beautiful function that Kyle had. We see a flashback to it when Dorit was talking to Erica and saying, we understand. And Garcelle said, that's not what you said last night. That's not what you said. So now Garcelle says, I'm not wrong about that, but go on. Dorit. It's like a bully. Garcelle. Oh, stop it. Right now. I'm not bullying you. Dorit. It's pretty much how it feels to me. Why are you doing it? Do you have a problem with me? Now, I feel like Garcelle could ask Dorit the same question. If I were Garcelle, I'd be like, after Crystal told you 4 times that I wasn't around and you still insisted that I was being rude for bringing something up after Erica asked me not to, were you doing that because you're mad at me about something? I would have said something like that, but what Garcelle said, I don't know. This, to me, I think went in a wrong direction, but she brought up about her talking too much. Like, that's the problem that she has with Dorit. Who knows? Maybe it is. Anyway, what Garcelle says is, I don't, but when we're all having a discussion, you tend to hijack the moment. And you just go on and not giving anyone else a chance to have their say. So if I have done that, and I know that I have because I remember the things that you mentioned, Dorit. So it's not if I've done that. It's when I've done that, you mean. Right? Garcelle. Yeah. Okay. When I've done that, it's because I feel like no one else has a chance to say anything. That's just how I feel. Dorit. Would you consider us friends? No, I wouldn't. That's me saying that. Garcelle, there's like a longish pause. And she said, yes. I don't know where I sit, honestly, with this group. In a way, I feel like an outsider a little bit. Yeah, you're not in the core four. There is an unspoken alliance happening, a group within the group. And it is the four ladies that all jumped on Kyle's bed after she had her nose job in episode 1 this year, who all had been like talking to each other through the pandemic and while filming wasn't happening, and leaving you and Sutton on the outs. Anyway, Dorit asks why she feels that way. Garcelle, I don't know. It's just how I feel. Rinna, we had a great relationship before. Garcelle, and we talked about it. Yes, we did. We talked about it. Mm-hmm. Dorit tells Garcelle that a really great way to be part of the group is to be honest. I'm sorry. You mean like Erica? Actually, are any of you honest with each other? I mean, really? I don't know. Dorit. If you have a problem, say it. Garcelle, I don't have a problem with you overall, just when you won't let somebody else speak. So I do think this is weird that Garcelle's kind of going all in on the my problem is that you talk too much thing. Because I would have thought it was some other stuff, but, you know, okay. What do I know? So then Garcelle said, and I don't think I'm the only one at this table that thinks that way. Dorit, then say that. Kyle has said it to me. Lisa has said it to me. Erica, you've said it to me. Kathy, it's not like you haven't heard it before. No, it's not. So now Kyle said, it's not like you loved it when I said it. In her confessional, Kyle said, most people take a couple steps to get to their point. Dorit takes a car, it's a train, it's a plane, it's a connecting flight. If you ask Dorit what time it is, she'll tell you how to build a clock. In Erica's confessional, she said, Dorit is known to be a marathon talker. I usually check in on myself, is the dog, let's see, did I lock the doors? Of course, we see a picture of little Tomato still locked in his crate. So Dorit says, it's not just me, Garcelle. You do it to everyone. Garcelle, oh, okay. Are you going to speak for everybody now? Dorit, I'm just making an observation from last year and an observation from this year. And now that I'm on the receiving end of it, I'm thinking, gosh, she had a problem with Kyle. And then what you did in Palm Springs, in my opinion, Garcelle, you with that. You know exactly what happened in Palm Springs. Dorit, I don't actually. How do you not? Crystal told you. I'm not kidding, guys. At least 4 times it was on camera, and probably times that it wasn't on camera. So she's like, I don't actually. And Garcelle goes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Good for her. And you for bringing it up. So she gets up now and she starts walking away. Dorit. Oh, are we going? Is that the easy way? Or do you want to talk it out? I wouldn't bother talking it out with Dorit. Crystal told her Garcelle was not within earshot of Erica saying she didn't want to talk about it several times. So Garcelle said, I'll talk it out if you're going to be fair. And everyone's like, sit down, Garcelle, come back, sit. So she does. But I have no doubt in my mind that if they were not filming this show, Garcelle would be halfway home by now. Crystal, she wasn't there when Erica said that. 5th time? And now Sutton's like, don't talk about it to the group. Erica, I didn't say that. Don't talk about it to the group. And Crystal goes, no, she didn't say to the group. Erica, yeah, I did not say that to the group. So you be quiet, Miss Small Town. I have to worry about my motherfucking reputation. You shut up. Go ahead, Crystal. Yeah. Sutton starts to laugh. Erica, oh, go ahead and laugh. I can go all day with you. You go get another motherfucking legal opinion. Go ahead, Crystal. So then Crystal says, I felt that it was a private moment when you said that. Erica, it was a private moment. Dorit, and you felt it, and you read that. Crystal, 100%. Then to Garcelle, Dorit said, and I believe you're a very smart girl. Garcelle, oh, No. You're not pinning that on me. I am not going to let you do that. You can say what you want about us, but jumping in on something, you weren't there. Let's work with you and I. Me giving you jabs. And leave it just at that, Dorit.
We can leave it there. I certainly don't want to be accused of belaboring a point.
Garcelle. Really? Dorit.
Really? And I certainly don't want jabs to find out 2 months later it's because you belabored a point.
Garcelle agrees to say something to Dorit's face in the future. And Dorit said,
it just feels really shitty.
No, that was Erica's house, I think. Garcelle. Heard you. Got it. It will be different, Dorit.
Thank you.
Garcelle, you're welcome. Okay, before we move on to the next thing, can I just say something? This is such a joke that Crystal understood that when Erica said it to her, that was a private moment. You said it to Crystal. How private could it have been? You're confiding in this woman you probably just met a couple months ago? That's one thing that irritates me so much. Erica is part of the core four, and Rinna's got her back come hell or high water for some reason. So this is something she didn't tell Rinna. She didn't tell Kyle. She didn't tell Dorit. Those are her closer friends. So it was one of two things. Either A, she didn't want to be caught having lied to her friends by saying, oh no, Tom and I have no contact whatsoever. Or, you know what? I don't know what it is. Somebody said something about Bravo wasn't supposed to air it. The cameras caught it. She thought she wasn't on camera anymore, but she was still mic'd and it wasn't supposed to air, but Bravo did it and she's mad about that. I don't know if any of that's true. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. For 6 years, this woman did not slip up once. She told us what she wanted to tell us. She told the other housewives what she wanted them to know. Never more, never less. She created an image of Tom's a great guy, he's a great lawyer, he's a wonderful husband. I know there's an age difference and everyone thinks I'm a gold digger, but I'm not. We're really in love. And that was meticulously groomed. That story was meticulously groomed for us. Never once did she slip and say something because she thought she was off camera, or she confided in one of the ladies, but she didn't want her to tell the other ladies. Never once. And now we're supposed to believe that she shared something super private accidentally. And to Crystal and Garcelle? No. When things don't make sense to me, I have a very hard time believing them. And none of that makes sense. I mean, I guess you could argue that she's been under a lot of stress and maybe that's why she slipped up, but I'm not buying it. I think she's telling a whole bunch of lies and she forgets what she told to who. I think she's having a hard time getting the narrative out that she's told to get out, whether it's by Tom's attorneys or her own, or whether they're working together. Don't know. But I think she's told to get out certain stories on camera. And it's hard for her to keep the story straight. I don't know. But that's my guess. Okay, next we are at Kathy's house. Kyle comes over. There's presents all around the tree, but I'm pretty sure this is long after the holidays, because when they were celebrating Kyle's birthday at Erica's, they talked about, have you guys seen anybody? And she hasn't seen anyone in so long. So I'm pretty sure this has got to be at least January. But anyway, Kathy's got this little fluff ball of a dog named Muffy, who climbs up on the presents and sits right there on top of one. It's so cute. I mean, she's no tobacco, but she's adorable. Kathy says she sits there every night because when they order food, she doesn't want to miss out on going with. Oh, okay. The presents are there. It is after Christmas. Kathy said that they're leaving them there because they're waiting for Paris to get home from somewhere. All right, so I guess Kathy is planning to have a dinner party for the girls. And according to her, in her confessional, she said it usually takes about 4 days for the planning of the party. She has laid out all different types of plates and glasses and all kinds of things to decide what she wants. Didn't Crystal say she hosts 3 or 4 parties a week? And Kathy takes 4 days to plan just one party? Somebody's doing it wrong. I don't know who. Anyway, Kathy and Kyle are going to have lunch, and they go into this other room, and they're eating on tray tables. And it is very Grey Gardens-ish to me. In Kathy's house, I mean, it's pretty ornate. There's a lot of stuff in there. Again, I'm sure it's very expensive things, but so cluttered and I don't know. It's being a Virgo or my OCD, one or the other. But yeah, I am close to being a minimalist because I really love that idea of just having what you need and not a lot of other extra stuff. So maybe it's just me, but this is like too much stuff. It did kind of look cozy. Also, guys, side note, my eagle-eye detective work never takes a day off. I happen to notice in the background that Kathy has her own peppermint bucket candle, just like the one she brought to Kyle in Palm Springs. So I don't know if there was like a sale on them, but I'm wondering who she got to carry all those things home. To be fair, I only saw 2. But I imagine she gave Kim one, right? That's fair. All right, so they talk about Lisa's lip party. Kyle said, I couldn't believe Garcelle got so mad. She was like, F you, Dorit. Kathy, what? Who said that? When did that happen? Kathy, you were sitting at the table, sweetie. Kyle goes, I looked over at you and I knew you weren't paying attention to what was going on because you were just like reapplying your lip gloss. Totally oblivious to the fight. Now Kyle asks Kathy what she thought of the lip reader. How did we miss this? We see in a flashback that also at the lip party, there was a lip reader, a woman who would read your lip prints and, like a fortune teller kind of a thing. In the flashback, we see that she said to Kathy, see how you have these like crinkles right up here? That means a lot of responsibility. And then she's like, Kyle, your kiss is so wide open. It was weird. I don't know what she did. But anyway, she's like, you see how your lips are so wide open? There's still so much healing. And I'm telling your mom to get out of the conversation. Okay. Kyle goes, what's my mom saying? And the lip reader goes, she's saying, Kyle, don't betray me. Yikes. That's scary. Oh my God. Okay, so now Kyle says to Kathy, yeah, that lip reader, she admitted that she Googled everybody ahead of time. And with my name and your name, Kathy, American Woman comes up. So that's why she said, your mother said, don't betray me. So Kathy says to Kyle, listen, let me just say this. We've been under scrutiny for so long and people saying this and that for so many years. And what happens is it's only drawing attention. She's talking about that American Woman thing. So in Kyle's confessional, she said, Kathy and I have had a lot of setbacks in our relationship. When Mauricio started the agency, that was the first time we had trouble. And we get a flashback, but they're not making it very clear. I think Mauricio used to work for Rick, perhaps. And then Mauricio struck out on his own and did he take clients with him or something? I'm not entirely sure, but it's something like that, something a little bit messy. Anyway, she said that was the first time she and Kathy had an issue. And then when she did American Woman, that was a problem. And she said, I think Kathy thought I was going to disrespect our mother or my sisters. And then Kathy, I'm not following her thought here, but she said, there's so much out there that there's no way they would have been interested in a script about Angelina Jolie and her mother or Greta Garbo and her mother. What? There's quite a bit of disparity between Angelina Jolie and Greta Garbo, but I'm not sure what she's talking about. She says, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no. Kyle said, what do you mean? And she goes, it really put Mom in a bad light. Kyle, what put Mom in a bad light? Nothing I did. And Kathy said, no, just other jealous people making comments and everything. So Kyle said, American Woman was a love letter to Mom. And it wasn't even about, it was inspired by. I feel like I've said that till I was blue in the face. Every one of these shows that's inspired by true events, people just think that really happened. Or everybody wonders, was this real or was this just inspired? Or did that part happen or not? You know what I mean? Everyone's speculating. So I think that's a kind of a dangerous game, especially when you're a famous family, to be like, oh, I'm going to put out fiction that's just inspired by my family. I don't know. I think it's to be expected that people are going to start wondering if all that was real. So Kathy said, well, if it was such a love letter to Mom, why wouldn't you tell Kim about it ahead of time? Kyle goes, I did talk to Kim. You and I weren't talking at the time, Kathy. I just wouldn't have done that without talking to you. And Kyle said, if it was a real story about Mom and us, I wouldn't have done it. I liked the idea of a story set in the 70s about a single mom navigating her way without a husband. I liked the idea of it. And Kathy said, well, there were a couple things that were off color to me. And Kyle said, what? She said, oh, the floating in the pool with the champagne bottle and the bills. So in Kyle's confessional, she said, what Kathy's talking about was not even in the show. There's no money all over the place. It's Alicia Silverstone floating in the pool, chilling and smoking. I really thought it was benign. In Kathy's confessional, she said, the bottom line is if it's in the show, people are going to think that's your family, and that's unacceptable. I mean, I agree with her. If it's in the show, people are pretty much going to think it's your family. Then Kathy said, can I tell you something? Hand to God, no legs crossed. Kim never said one unkind thing. And Kyle goes, well, I find that hard to believe. And she said, why would I lie? And she goes, I don't think you're lying. I think you maybe are forgetting. So then Kyle talks about what she had said earlier to Mauricio about how all three, her and her two sisters, it's rare that all three of them are talking to each other at the same time. It's usually Kim and Kyle against Kathy, or Kathy and Kim against Kyle, or, you know, right now it's Kathy and Kyle. So Kathy said, well, Kim doesn't like to feel like an outsider. And Kyle said, well, neither do I. You think that was fun for me when you had Christmas here and Kim came and I wasn't invited? That was very painful for me. In Kyle's confessional, she said that when her mom was alive, her mom was always the mediator between the girls. And this, like, not talking to each other for so long, the mother never would have allowed that to happen. Kyle gets pretty emotional thinking about her mom and her sisters. And then in Kathy's confessional, the producer asks her, what's the one thing you regret the most about, you know, when you weren't speaking that much to Kyle? And she said, well, being together. And then Kathy starts to cry. It was emotional. Then when the two of them are sitting there at Kathy's house, the light kind of buzzes. And Kathy goes, what was that? And Kyle said, that's Mom making the light flicker. And Kathy goes, you're right, because that's a new lamp and a new light bulb. Oh boy, Mommy. They're both saying, hi, Mommy. Hi, Mom. And that was the end of this episode. So yeah. You guys, I want to catch up, and I know good things are happening. I know is there a dinner party part 1 and part 2 or something like that? I don't know. I know those are coming up, and I can't wait. I was out to dinner with my sisters and my nieces, and my one niece that watches the shows asked me if I was really behind on the shows, or had I watched them, but I just didn't recap yet. And I said, no, I'm really behind. Like, I really have not watched. I don't have time to, like, watch it if I'm not going to watch and take notes. You know what I mean? Like, that's a waste of time for me. So if I have the time to actually watch the show, I'm going to sit down and, like, take notes, or I'm going to try and film it. So yeah, I really haven't seen that yet. And I know I seem like I'm a huge Bravo fan, and I am for the most part. But I don't really pay attention to the stuff on social media about everybody. So I really don't know what's going on. And I kind of like to do that too, because I just like my reaction to be fresh for you guys when I'm filming and all that. So anyway, I am trying to keep up, and I cannot wait to watch those episodes. All right, that's it for me. Reminder, if you guys are ordering anything from Amazon, please consider using one of my links below to make the purchase. It helps me out a little bit, and I would appreciate it. And as always, if you liked the episode, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and leave a comment. I always love to hear what you guys are thinking. And also, some of you guys, oh my God, I laugh out loud at your comments. I love them. I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.